Did you know that React is used by over 10 million developers worldwide? It's also the framework behind some of the world's most popular websites, including Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp. With more than 2 lakh stars on GitHub, React is one of the most loved and widely used JavaScript libraries out there. So, are you excited to learn how to build amazing web applications using React? Then you have come to the right place. But before learning it, you must know where is React being used in your day-to-day life. Think about the websites you frequently use, the effortless scrolling of your social media feed, the instant movie recommendation on your favorite streaming service, or even the smooth updates on your to-do list app. These dynamic experiences are often powered by ReactJS.
Craving a career upgrade? Subscribe, like, and comment below. Dive into the link in the description to fast-track your ambitions. Whether you're making a switch or aiming higher, Simplilearn has your back.
So, if you are interested in learning React or advancing your career as a MERN-stack developer, then this full stack developer master's program by Simplilearn is for you. You will master top skills like MongoDB, Express.js, React, and Node.js, along with Git, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to build and deploy interactive applications and services. With hands-on projects and expert instructions, you will gain practical experience and a deep understanding of full stack development. Enroll now to become a proficient MERN stack developer and take your career to the next level. The course link is in the pinned comments and the description box. Alright, so let's get started.
Alright, so in this video, we will learn what you should do before learning React, then React folder structure, JSX, then React components, then React props. After that, we'll learn conditional rendering and then the rendering lists. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so before moving forward, we need to understand what is React. So ReactJS, often shortened to React, is a JavaScript library specifically designed for building user interfaces, that is UIs. Think of it as a collection of pre-made building blocks that you can assemble to create dynamic and interactive web pages. Unlike traditional web development, where you write out every detail on the page, React lets you focus on describing what you want the UI to look like, and it handles the efficient updates behind the scenes. This makes building complex interfaces faster and easy to maintain. Alright, now let's understand what you should do before learning React. So before we start learning React, it's important to know a bit about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So basically, HTML is what we use to build the basic structure of web pages. In React, you will use something similar called JSX to create your components. So understanding HTML will help you a lot. Then CSS. CSS is what makes your web pages look nice by adding styles like colors, fonts, and layouts. Knowing CSS means you can make your React components look good too. Alright, now JavaScript. JavaScript is a language that makes web pages interactive and dynamic. Since React is built on JavaScript, you need to understand how to use it to handle things like user interactions and data changes. If you have a good grasp of these three technologies, that is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you'll find it much easier to learn and work with React. But you don't have to worry, as we are covering React from the basics, so you don't have to worry about that. But a basic understanding of these three technologies would help you. Alright, now we'll have to understand how to start with React. That includes how to download it and from where we'll have to download it. And so let's do that. Alright, so we'll go to Google and we'll go for Node.js download. Now you guys might be confusing here, like why we are downloading Node.js. So for that, we'll have to understand many things. So to get started with React, basically, you'll need to set up your development environment, which includes installing Node.js, npm, and understanding npx. So basically, Node.js is JavaScript runtime that allows you to run JavaScript on your server or a local machine. It's essential for developing like modern application, including those built in React. So we'll have to download it because we'll be using npm and npx commands. So npm is basically the Node package manager. It's a tool that comes with the Node.js. It helps you manage JavaScript packages and libraries, including React. So basically for that reason, we'll have to download Node.js. And talking about npx that I told you. So basically npx is like a tool that comes with npm. It started from version 5.2.0 and it allows you to run npm packages without installing them globally. So this is useful for running create React app without clustering your system with unnecessary package. So basically, if you so npm is for managing packages, and npx is for like running the packages. So in short, we can describe this by this. All right, so we'll go to Node.js download, and you can download it from here. You can find the download option, and you can easily download it. I already have it in my system, so I'll not be downloading it. It's pretty simple. You'll have to download it and install it. It's very basic. You don't have to worry about that. So once it's downloaded and installed, you can check by going to cmd, command line, command prompt, and here you can type node -v, which will give you node version. So your version can be different from mine, depends how it is updated, and new versions comes and goes, so you don't have to worry about that. So mine is v21.6.1. You can check whether it is installed or not by doing this node -v. If it is not installed, it will not display this. All right. Now I hope you have VS Studio Code. So for any code editor you can try, but I believe Visual Studio is much better than any other code editor, so I'll prefer that one only. So let's go to the Visual Studio first. So basically, this is the interface of Visual Studio Code, as we can see. Now, if we want to create a React app over here, as we have installed Node.js, so we don't have to worry about anything else. So first of all, you'll have to create a folder where you'll be creating or whatever changes you will be doing in your project or something like that. You can keep it over there. So first, let's create a folder. We'll go to this, and here we'll go and we'll write new folder, and we have created a folder in the name of react all right. So basically, this is our folder, react. Now we'll go to explorer, open folder, and we have selected the folder. We'll open the folder in React. Now what we'll have to do is we'll basically go to the terminal, and we'll use the commands to create the React app basically. So you'll have to pay attention. All right, now we'll go to the terminal and we'll write npx create React app. Then we can write the name of the app. I am writing like my app. You can write any name as per your choice. All right, now we'll click on enter. So basically, my app can be replaceable with your desired project name. So yeah, so basically this command does several things. So basically this command basically downloads and runs the create React app package, and it will also set up a new project with all the necessary files and configurations. So we'll have to wait until it is done completely. So let's wait. All right, so it's done. So as you can see, it is written, we suggest that you begin by typing cd myapp npm start. So basically cd myapp is used to navigate to the project directory, and then there is npm start. So we need to start the development server. So we use npm start. It will start the development server to see your React application in action. So this command basically starts the development server and opens your default web browser at localhost 3000. So you should like start with it. You'll have to type in this command cd myapp and then npm start. All right, so we'll write cd myapp, or you just can copy paste it from the above. I'm typing. All right, now we'll write npm start. Let's just wait. So our local host 3000 is here, and a React app is started. It is keep on rendering. All right, so you can head back over here. All right, now as you can see, inside this we have multiple things: node modules, publics, src, etc. So let's just explore all of these things one by one. So as I told you earlier, so when you create a React project, you'll see bunch of files and folders. So understanding the structure will help you know where to find things and where to put your code. So we'll start with the first one. This is node modules basically. So this folder contains all the packages and libraries that your project needs. You don't need to touch this folder. It's managed automatically by the package manager like npm or yarn. So then don't have to worry about it. Then there is public folder. So this folder holds the static files of your project. It includes an index.html file, as we can see. So this index.html file is the entry point of your React application. Any files you put here will be like accessible directly in the browser. All right. Now after this, there is src folder we can see. So this is where you'll spend most of the time. It contains the source code of your React application, and here's like index.js is there. So this is the JavaScript file where the React application starts. Then app.js is there. So this is the main component, app.js, as we can see. So this is the main component of your application. You can think of it as a container for all other components. Then app.css, this file will contain the styles for the app component. Then index.css, this file contains the global styles that apply to the entire application. So other files are also there. You don't have to worry about them, like package.json. So package.json, you need to understand. So this file keeps track of your project dependencies, scripts, and metadata. It's an important file because it defines the project setup. All right. So this is .gitignore. This file tells Git which files and folders to ignore, so they don't get included in your version control. So yeah, this is pretty much the folder structure. So now talking about the entry point. So the index.html file that I already discussed, in the public folder is the entry point of your app. The index.js file in the src folder is where the React app is bootstrapped basically. Then the main component is app.js, you can say. This file is the main component of your application. It can contain other smaller components that you can create. All right. Then the styling is app.css. We can see here it is. App.css and index.css files are used for styling your components. You can add more CSS files as needed. So I think this is pretty much what it is about the folder structure. Now we'll be proceeding with creating the React app and understanding what are the things we need to understand the React application. So all right, now it's time we should talk about JSX as well. So JSX stands for JavaScript XML. It's a syntax extension for JavaScript that looks similar to HTML and is used in React to describe what the UI should look like. It lets you write HTML-like code within JavaScript. It makes it easier to visualize the structure of the user interface components. So it basically allows you to write HTML-like code directly inside your JavaScript files for React. Like it makes describing what your website should look like much easier. So let's just understand it with the help of one example. Let's just create a file. I've just created this file. We'll delete it later. All right. So let me explain to you guys. So here we'll write two examples and then I'll explain about JSX. You can understand it in a better way. So const, let's say element, React, create element, h1, hello world. All right. Now again, const element, right, hello world. So what according to you guys is much easier to write? The first one or the second one? I believe you guys have selected the second one, right? So in both the examples, we are creating an element that displays the text hello world as a heading h1. However, the JSX version is much cleaner and easier to read because it resembles HTML. So basically, this is not HTML, this is JSX. As I told you that it lets you write like HTML like code directly inside the JavaScript files. So all thanks to JSX, we can write like this. And so let me do a bit breakdown for you. So we start an opening tag. So as we can see h1, and then we write the content we want to display basically, like we have written hello world, and we'll close the tag simply that we do in HTML. So basically think of JSX as a special instruction for React. When you use JSX, a tool called Babel, often used with React, that translates it into regular JavaScript that React understands. So this is what JSX is. It looks like HTML, but it is not. So yeah. All right. So let's just delete it. All right, so now let's understand about components. So first of all, let's understand how to make one. We'll go to src, create a new file, and let's name it greetings. You can name as per your choice, .jsx. To create a component, we have to use .jsx in the end. All right, so this is the component, and this is the app.js component, and this is greeting.js. So talking about this, so a component in React are basically the building blocks of React app. They can be functional, that is the simple function, or class based, that is using ES6 classes. So we are gonna do with the functional component itself. So functional components return JSX, while the class components use render method. Components use props to receive data and can be composed together to build complex user interfaces. For example, that we'll gonna create one, and I'll make you understand what a component is and how it is working. So all right, so let's get started. So this is greeting.js and this is app.js. So basically we can remove this one first. We don't need it, right? You can remove this as well. All right, now greetings.jsx. All right, so we'll start import React from React. After this, the name of the functional component is greetings. So function, then the name of the component, greetings. All right. Now let's say I've written, I'm going to use a basic example first so that you guys can understand it. Happy learning. So this is our functional component, and so now we'll have to export it to the app.js. So we'll write export default greetings. So we have exported this from here, and now we have to import this over here so that we could receive it. Import greetings. All right, now we can remove this as well. Greetings. So this is how we can write a component. So the backslash is over here and the name of the component, and inside the tag kind of a format. So as you can see, so we have included happy learning. So what now will happen is this happy learning will be displayed over here in the app.js. So this is basically a building block. So similarly, we can create many components like greetings. We can create some more components, and all we have to do is to place over here. We'll have to write the name in the similar format. So we can include it over here, and in the app, it will display normally. So it will not get cluttered with a lot of code. We can code, I can write 100 lines of code over here, and all I have to do is just include the name of that particular component over here, and it will automatically display it over here. Also, we have to write return statement like this over here as well, that is in the component return. Now I hope it will work. Happy learning, it is displaying, as you can see. So this is a basic example of what we call component. Now let's understand what is props. So React props, that is short for properties, are a way to pass data from parent component to child component in React. They are used to customize and configure the child components. Think of it like arguments you pass to a function. So let's just understand it with the help of a fine example. So yeah, we'll have to go to this greeting function again. So yeah, we'll have to change the code a bit. So let's just say we want to pass some props. So as I told you, it's like argument that you pass to the functions. So let's say I want to pass name. Name is, let's say, John, and I'll just copy paste it. Another thing that I want to pass is another name. 3 times will pass is Robert, and here Sid. So I want to pass these 3 names as arguments to the greetings function, that is props. So how should we do that? So we'll go to greetings, and so this code will not work basically. So what we'll do is greetings, we'll have to pass the props. Props will receive the what we call names one by one. So let's just write like this. Hello, and in this curly braces we can write the JSX props dot name And yeah, now we can display the names. Now let's save it, and one by one all these three names will be displayed. So here the first component, the second component, the third component, it is the same component but we are passing the different names. So let's see if it is working or not. So as we can see, hello John, hello Robert, hello Sid. So these three we have passed from here to here. Props.name, props.name. So it is receiving the names one by one. Name is here. It's like this. So we are passing from apps, app.js, and receiving props over here. So this is what props is. You'll be using it in a regular basis when you're creating a React app or making a project in React. Other thing is this curly braces. So the curly brackets are used to embed JavaScript expression within JSX. So JSX, as I told you, is a syntax extension for JavaScript that looks similar to HTML and is used to describe what the UI should look like. When you want to include dynamic content or execute JavaScript code within JSX, you need to use curly braces. So keep in mind, if you're using HTML in JavaScript, you have to use these curly braces. So it is JSX basically. All right. So now let's understand about conditional rendering. So conditional rendering in React means showing different content or component based on certain condition. It's like making decisions in your code about what to display on the screen. So if I'll put it in simple words, it's like conditional rendering lets you control what shows up on your screen. Imagine having a different pre-built sections of your app and you can choose which one to display based on the certain conditions. So for that, we'll have to create another, what we call this, component. So go to src, we'll click on src and then we'll create a new file. And let's name this file as packing list, and we have named this file as packing list. So let's start. So first of all, let me tell you, you can export in the end as well and the starting as well. I'm gonna use it over here, export default function list. So yeah, default spelling is not correct. All right, function list, not function list, it's packing list. Yeah, packing list. But before this, we'll have to use function. All right, so now the braces. Yeah, so now we'll use return. Keep in mind, this is the syntax basically, so you'll have to keep in mind the syntax. All right, now we'll use a section tag. I'll explain it to you guys why we are using this section tag and what it is. And yeah, so basically we'll have to do conditional rendering. So we'll create different scenarios. All right, so let's say this is saying Sally rides packing list. All right, so this is under h1, and now item, we are creating a component basically inside a component. So that component would be, I haven't created yet, would be item. So in item we'll write is packed. If it is true, you don't have to be worried guys, I'll explain it, just be with me. This is, let's say, space time or space suit. Okay, we don't have to use this. We should use like this. It's my bad. All right. Similarly, we'll have to do for others as well. Just copy it, paste it, and paste it. So basically, we'll be using different scenarios. So name the space suit over here, and here we'll write some other name. Let's say helmet with a golden leaf. Okay. Now here we'll write photo of Tim. All right, so we'll have to enclose all of these under a list, I believe. So let's do that. Unordered list. So here, let me explain to you guys what we are doing. So here, this component is defined as packing list. So it returns a section element containing the packing list information. Inside the section, there's a h1 element displaying the Sally rides packing list basically. So next comes a unordered list element that you guys know for the items inside it. So within the unordered list, there are three uses of item components. Each use of item is wrapped in JSX, as we can see, and passes props to configure the items display. So each of these are passing the props to configure the items display. The name prop specifies the item name, that is example spacesuit, and the is packed prop, as we can see, is packed. So is packed prop determines if a check mark is shown true or not, that is true or false. So as I told you, we'll be making another component inside this component only. So the overall functionality would be the packing list components create the overall structure and the title for the list. It then utilizes the item component 3 times, each time customizing it with the specific item names and packing status, whether it is packed or not, using props. The item component that we will be creating now will display each item based on the props it receives. Packed items show a check mark, while unpacked items will be listed without one. So let's just create that one. All right. So let's create over here function item. Inside this, we'll be using the curly braces, name, and is packed. So these are the two things that we are passing. All right. Now, if condition is there, and inside if is packed, if is packed is true, then we should return a tick mark basically. All right. So I like class name. So let's name it like item only, and we'll have to use tick. I don't know if we can do that. We'll write it afterwards. Li. All right. Let's just write tick over here as of now. All right. So, and in the else it would go like return class name item. Here also we'll have to write the name and along with this, so that it is shown, the tick is shown in front of the name. That's why we are doing it. All right, so it is done. So the conditional rendering thing is whichsoever name is correct, that only will be displayed as the correct one, others will not. So it's a conditional thing. This is what we are doing in it. So let's just say this item 1 is true, 2 is also true, 3 is also true. Let's just make it false. So this one will not be ticked correct. It will not be correct one. These two will be the correct one. In front of this will be displayed. So we have used this if now. I repeat, we have used this if. So it is conditionally rendering it. All we have to do is just to include it in app.js. So let's just do this. We can remove this one. And now we can write import packing list /packing list. So yeah, just keep in mind that while doing the importing thing, import packing list from /packing list. It will go in the files or folders wherever this file is. As we can see over here, it is. It will search for it and then it will include it. So the same format, packing list. We have included it. Let's just see. As you can see, Sally rides packing list. Spacesuit is done. Helmet with a golden leaf, she hasn't packed yet. Photo if team is there. So if we'll alter it, let's go over here and make it, this one also will make false. And let's see if it is depicted over here or not. So as you can see, photo of team again is not correct. She has not taken it with her. So yeah, this is what conditional rendering is. Now let's understand rendering list in React. So for that, we'll be doing an example again. So we'll create a reusable component. We'll build a shopping list, and then we'll create a reusable component to display a list of items. We'll use the map function to iterate over our items and render them as list items in a clean and efficient way. So for those people who don't know what is map function, so the map function in React is like a conveyor belt for your data. It takes an array of items, sends them through one by one, and lets you create something new for each item. This something new is usually another array, but in React, it can be JSX elements to build dynamic list or other user interface structures. So this was about maps. So now let's create another component. All right, so let's go to src, right click, new file, list.jsx. We are naming it list. All right, so let's make a list. So first of all, we'll again import React from React. All right. Now what we'll do is we'll create the functional component, function list, and all right. Now we'll mention the items. So I'm going to explain to you guys in a very basic manner because I'm considering you guys are beginners. So I'll be using as simple example as I could. So yeah, all right. First, let's say apple, then avocado, then banana, grapes, then we can say oranges. All right. So we've used 5 fruits. We have mentioned a list or cons or list of items basically. You can say the array of items as well. Now we'll go on return. We'll make a list, unordered list. Now inside this list, we'll first of all name it class name. All right, class name item list. All right, now inside this, we'll use items dot map basically because we want to iterate over each of them. So we'll use a map function to iterate over the items, that is apple, avocado, banana, one by one. So we'll do is JSX. Inside JSX, we'll write items dot map. This is an arrow function. I believe you guys know about arrow functions. All right. So all right, this is key. I'll explain it to you guys what is key if you guys don't have any idea regarding it. So item, class name, item, and inside it we'll keep the inside the JSX we'll write item. That is basically the array. All right, let's keep it short only. Here also we'll keep it short. Item. All right. Now I think we have wrote mau instead of map. All right. Now what else we'll have to do is we'll go to the app.js basically and we'll do some things over there. So what are those things? We'll packing list we have wrote. We can exclude that and go. We'll write h1. Don't worry, I'll explain that code to you guys. You don't have to worry about that. So first of all, my shopping list. Now inside this we'll basically write the name of that component, that is list, and we have to import it as well. We don't have to forget it. Import list from /list. So why it is showing me an error? Because I think I have not exported that. We'll go and export that as well. Export default list. As you can see, there is no error now. Go to app, save it, and let's see if it is fine or not. So as you can see, my shopping list, apple, avocado, bananas, grapes. So this is how we can render a list. This is basically a list. Basically, this is how we can render a list in React. So let me explain it to you guys. The list component defines an array of items containing the list of items, basically, as we can see. So the return statement over here uses JSX to create an unordered list, that is UL, and we have named class name as item list. And we have done the CSS part, but you don't have to worry about that as we're focusing on React. Now we use here the map function to iterate over the items array, where it is. So as you can see here, it is. So in this list, we have used the map function, and inside the map function, we create a list li, and inside the list element for each item in the array, we are using the map function. Each list item has the class name item and displays the current item's names using curly braces. So crucially, we add a key prop to each list item basically. So the key prop should be unique for each item and helps React optimize performance when updating the list. That is why we have used that. In this case, we use the item itself as the key, as we can see. So here again in app, we have just included the component name and imported it. So yeah, this is how you can render the list. Now let's understand React hooks. So here we'll be covering useState in React hooks. So useState in React hooks is that allows you to add state to functional components. It returns a state variable and a function to update it. You initialize it with a default value, and React ensures that state persists across re-renders. So in simple words, like it has two parts basically, the state variable and the state setter function. You can also refer it to as updater function. So state variable, so this variable holds the current value of the state. You can use it to read the state in your component. And the state setter function, which we'll write next to it, is the function that allows you to update the state. When you call it with the new value, React re-renders the component with the updated state. So I'll explain it to you guys when we are writing it. So let's start with it. All right, now again, let's create another component. We'll go to src, create a new file, .jsx. All right, now first, let me just explain it to you. Const count set counter, set count, use state. So when you're using this use state, in React, you're using the useState hook to add state to a functional component. This line creates a state variable, that is count, and a function set count, this is set count, to update it. Initially, you can set the count to a variable by passing to useState, like whatever the value will be here, let's say 0. So this 0 value will be assigned to this count. It's the initial value of this count. All right. Now, and this is the set count function. It will update this count function. So whatsoever value will be passing from this set count, it will gets updated to this count. It works like this. So initially you can set this count using the useState, like useState 0, which sets count to 0. Whenever you need to change the value of count, you call set count with the new value. This helps your component remember values and update the display when those values change. So this is how it works. Now let's write a proper component regarding this. All right. Import React from React. Now we'll create the function counter. All right. Return statement. So in the return statement, first of all, we'll create a div, and inside that div, we will be creating an h1 tag. Inside that, we'll be using the count, and after that, we'll be using two buttons. That is, one will increment and the other one will be decrementing it. So basically, let me tell you what we are creating over here. So here we'll build a simple counter app. We'll use a cool React feature, as we told you, use state, to keep track of a number and create buttons to increase it or decrease it. You'll see how this hook helps manage the state within the functional component with the help of this example. All right. Div class name. All right, let's name it counter. So in this one we'll write h1, and here we will display the counter, the current counter basically. So we'll write count. After this we'll make buttons, we'll create buttons on click. So the buttons have the on click functionality. On click, this function will be called, that is handle click. So we have wrote this function inside JSX. So what we are doing is we are making it whenever we'll click on the button, that is on click, C capital, this function will be revoked or called, and the definition of this function will be creating after this. So similarly, we'll create another function. Let's just copy paste it because the syntax is same. And this time also, let's just write, because we want one function to increment it and another function to decrement it. So we'll write handle increment, handle decrement. All right. So we have created two buttons. Now what we'll do is we'll go over here and we'll create these functions. So let's first of all create counter, that useState basically that we previously wrote, const count. Then there is set count, useState. We have initialized the value of count with 0, as we can see, and after that function will have to create another function, handle increment. So inside this function we'll write set count, count plus 1. So basically what this function will do, it will update the what we call count state by 1 using the set count function. So this function handle increment will call this, and the set count will update this count by 1. So basically, as I told you, this set count, this one, is the updater of count. So when we are clicking on handle increment, basically we are calling this function, and this function is again updating this count. So initially value was 0, then it will become 1. Again we'll click, it will become 2. Again we'll click, it will become 3. Same goes for the decrement. So let's write the function for decrement as well. Function handle decrement. All right. So inside this, again we'll have to do the same thing. Set count, count minus 1 over here we'll have to do. All right. Here again, the update the count state, it will update the count state by -1 using the set count function. So this is how it is working. And now let's see whether it will work or not. We'll have to add it in app.js as well. Let's just write counter over here first. All right. Now instead of list, here we'll write the name of the component, that is counter. All right. We'll have to import it. That is why it is showing the error. Import counter from /counter. All right. It is showing errors, as we can see. All right. Because we are using useState hook, so we'll have to do one thing more. Because we are using useState, import react useState from react. Another thing is this export statements. Don't have to forget it. We'll keep in mind export default counter. All right, useState is not defined. 627. All right, so make sure to add this to import it, the hooks, that is the useState. Then it will not show any error. Now let's see if it will work or not. All right, the buttons are very small. Okay, let's just add something in it. And or we can also write decrement as well. All right, now it is visible. So on clicking plus, it is incrementing as we can see, and now let's click minus. It is decrementing as we can see. It is also going in minus. Wow. So yeah, this is the counter that we have just created. You can also create it with the help of React. So all thanks to useState, and it is pretty easy to use it. You can try this on your own. So all right, that's a great start for React with React basically. So we have covered some fundamental concepts like components, hooks like useState, and many others. These are just the building blocks, and React offers vast toolbox for creating dynamic UIs. So I've also tried to make things easier by going through some basic example alongside you and play around with those examples, try modifying them and see what you can build out on your own. There are tons of online resources you can go for, but make sure to check out Simplilearn's course that I've mentioned earlier. It will be a one-stop solution for all of you guys. And remember, practice makes perfect, and with a little effort, you will be well on the way to mastering React. Alright guys, with that we have come to the end of this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I hope it really helped you all. Thanks for watching, stay safe and keep learning.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.